Hello and welcome to Clydebridge Station. In this video today I'm going to go through where I get some of the ideas for my layout, which is set in 1989 during the BR sectorisation period. As well as what you see here on the bed, I'll be showing you some websites where I get ideas from as well. And hopefully this will give you ideas of where to look to get inspiration for your layout as well. I should point out that although I'm showing you these books here in magazines and DVDs, there are others available and which may have ideas in the area that you might want to set your layout in. So there's unlimited options. As I say, this is just giving you an idea where I get my ideas from. So we'll go and look at where I get my ideas from, and what we'll do is we'll start off with magazines. Now the first set of magazines that I've got here is just a small selection from a title that was published by Ian Allen between December 1985 and November 1991, and it was called Motive Power Monthly. It was actually a spin-off from the magazine Modern Railways Pictorial, and whereas Modern Railways tended to deal with more the very serious and business-like side of things, this was more catered for the normal enthusiast like myself. Now, Motive Power Monthly, as I say, ran from the January 86 to December 91 issues, and this is, as I say, is a small selection of the ones I've got. I've got all but 5 of them, and I'm still trying to look for them. The magazine has been out of print now for 26 years, and you will only get these at second-hand shops or on auction sites like eBay, and that's where I've got all mine from so far, except 2 which I bought at model railway shows. This actually was the very first one that I got, hence the reason the layout's set in 1989. But we'll take this one as an example here. Motive Power Monthly. A lot of them photos are in black and white, and that's something else you've got to remember about this magazine. This was long before digital cameras, mobile phones, the internet. But as you can see there, it had adverts in it and some colour photos. A bit from the editor, Roger Wood in this case. Chris Lee was another editor of this magazine. He's now involved with Model Rail magazine. And it had some news there about the sectors. It was late news, photo news. Now, in fact, just a couple of points here. This photo and this photo actually is of a railway system that started on the 15th of May 1989. It's a Fife Circle which actually runs through my home station. It previously was only said that peak hours Monday to Saturday, but now we get trains 7 days a week. There's other various photos in here, multiple unit matters, so there was quite a lot of photo coverage. Some colour photos as well. It had some articles and features. This one had a feature on, this particular copy had a feature on Westbury area freight depot, and I'll just show you that for instance. There we go, so it had some colour and black and white photos about Westbury, so that's for those that are interested in the freight side of things. This magazine did cater for it. Wagon View by Roger Salisbury. Then there was Rolling Stock Newsreel, which told you about what some of the goings on among various classes each month. Let's just give you an example here. We're just having a wee look around, and it says here, since the introduction of the new timetable, 86.4s have become a regular sight on the GE main line, working in pairs Freightliner traffic. On the 16th of May, one of the subclass network South East Livered 86401 Northampton Town was unusually noted on the 7:30 Liverpool Street to Norwich intercity service, diagrammed for a class 86-2. And there you go, so you can see it. That just gives you an example of, and it didn't just cater for locals, it had multiple units as well. There was some late news. And then there was stock list. Now, what stock list dealt with was the movement of stock from one sector to another, one depot to another, what went in for overhaul and repaint, livery changes, name changes, renumberings. For instance, name 20902 Lorna, 90009 Royal Show, name removed 47705 Lothian, 73105 Quadrant. Now there was also, it wasn't in this one, but I'll be able to show you in this one here, there was another bit called Stock List Extra. There we go. And it was a withdrawn and stored stock update, giving you locations off stock for the previous month. For instance, let's take a look. We see here at Motherwell 20203 and 47137 were stored there. Also tell you where things were disposed about. MC Processor Springburn 20146 was stored there. As I say, this magazine has not been in print for 26 years, so you'll only get it from likes of eBay, Amazon or second-hand shops. Some preserved railways may have a second-hand shop that has these in as well, so it's worth checking them out as well. Now that magazine in some ways is a modern day equivalent called Rail Express magazine, and we'll have a look at that in a few moments. Now we turn our attention to magazines which are currently in print. The two that you see on the right here are model railway magazines. David Watson and his Dean Park layout, he's actually just recently done a review of model railway magazines, so I'm not going to duplicate everything that he does. The two on the left here, one of them is monthly and one of them is every 2 monthly. Now, Rail Express magazine, which is this one here, as I said a couple of minutes ago, this is really the successor to Motive Power Monthly in a way. Unlike Motive Power Monthly, it has a lot more colour photos in it. News items, features every month, heritage features as well. There is a section devoted to rolling stock called Power Scene. There we go. Very similar in a way to Rolling Stock Newsreels and Motive Power Monthly. One difference, however, between these is that Motive Power Monthly did not deal with modelling, whereas this one does have a modelling section currently edited by Simon Bendel. And as you can see here, I'll just talk about, it's got some adverts there, news of what's coming up. Now it includes there the ScotRail Mark IIIs that I mentioned in the July update from the layout. Hopefully they'll be out soon. I could actually give you a review of them at one point. So there's quite a lot of things. There's an Irish scene in this magazine as well. There we go, Irish Angle it's called. So I'll go through this because it gives me news on the current goings on, but it also has a look back at things. There's Thirsk Station for you. How very different it looks nowadays, by the way. So there's that one there. Traction magazine is a 2-monthly magazine edited currently by Stephen Rathbone, and it's published by Warner's, and it deals with the back in the day things. I mean, who remembers, for instance, the old C-Link liveried Mark 1s? There you go. Like them or love them or hate them, it certainly got you. They were certainly noticeable. But in all seriousness, this magazine deals with things in the past. So I'm getting some ideas from this as well. And if you like your Deltics, well, there's a feature in this one here. So there's all sorts of various things, and it has a modelling section as well. Now, this magazine is actually a sister magazine to BRM, British Railway Modelling, and I don't buy modelling magazines that much unless there's something specific in them that I like. And this one I got because it dealt with something from the BR sectorisation era, and it's this layout, Devonport Road. And if you're wondering, you'll see in the August update from the layout I'll have a rugby ground, and if you're wondering where I got the idea from the rugby ground, this layout here actually has the back of a football ground, a soccer ground. And BRM often comes with a DVD as well. And again, it's the same for Hornby magazine, trade adverts, and it gives you some ideas. And this one here is actually quite a good workbench because it's actually giving me ideas for shunting operations for sleeper trains. And it's also got, the reason I bought this particular copy was it's actually got David Watson with his Dean Park, his Signal and Telecommunications Training Centre there. So that was another reason for buying it. So I do get my ideas from these magazines as well. So we're going to look next at books and DVDs. When it comes to books and DVDs, I've got quite a small selection of what I have right here that gives me ideas. Now again, the books that you see here, a lot of them will now be out of print, and I've obtained them from second-hand shops or on eBay. In regards to the DVDs, these should still be in production. Now we'll start off with the DVDs first of all. This is a Video 125 driver's eye view, Paddington to Exeter St David's. So you're actually getting to see things from the cab of a train, and it gives me ideas of signs, signals, etc. So you can always use that in one sense. These ones are more like sort of running shots. And these ones are set in the 80s. This one's got two discs, one is the 70s and 80s, the other one's is from the 1990s onwards. And again, it's good to see sort of rolling stock that was in use then, passenger train formations, etc. Now with regards to books, this one here, Locomotives and Coaching Stock 1988, that's actually still made to this day, and it gets updated on a yearly basis, and it was updated to the 4th of January 1988, and it has the sector code and depot and status of, and livery indeed, of all the available locomotives on British Rail at that time. So we'll just take an example here, because my layout's going to be dominated by Class 47s. We'll take a look at 47708 Waverley. And I think you can just see it there. It was allocated to PXXA sector. Livery was ScotRail, allocated to Eastfield Depot. Motive power recognition gives you, it's more like, it's not so much allocations of locos, but it gives details on the locomotives, and including photos of the cabs of each locomotive and some detailed differences as well. By the way, I must stress something that it's stressed in that book. Members of the public are not permitted to gain access to cabs, so please bear that in mind. The British Rail passenger timetable. Well, I've got this one here because this was actually the day that the Fife Circle train service started, but it gives me ideas of train services, where they ran to. Again, for my own layout, I could have a Clydebridge to Pembrey train service or a Clydebridge to Birmingham service, and if I wanted to do running sessions with tannoy announcements, using this timetable could give me ideas of stopping patterns as well. A lot of these are on sale on eBay from various years, and they usually got updated in May and October every year, so have a look on eBay. They go for various prices. Now these next two books are more to deal with the day-to-day running of things and explaining things rather than just photographs and details of rolling stock. British Rail at Work ScotRail covers various operations: freight, Ayrshire, Strathclyde, the East Coast and the West Coast. So it covers all sorts of various things, maintaining the fleet, customer first. This particular edition also had a small piece on the inside. I don't actually see it here at the moment, but there was a small colour piece on the inside that was devoted to ScotRail, showing the modernisation plans for the future. It's actually quite good in one sense because it gives me ideas for station layouts, etc. A Day in the Life of British Rail is exactly just that, edited by Murray Brown. and it tells all sorts of stories. Again, it looks more at the operational side of things as well. And a specific day was chosen to deal with that. So various photographers and authors were sent out on it was a summer Friday, and so it gave you an idea of what was happening on that particular day to let you have an understanding of the BR business. My favourite class of locomotive is the Class 47, and this book is devoted to them. These rail portfolios were initially published by Janes, but later publication moved to Ian Allen. And I mentioned in the July update, for instance, about 47 about having buffer stops painted grey at my station, Clydebridge. Now, where I got the idea from was this photograph here of 47407 Newton Aycliffe at Liverpool Lime Street in March 1985, and that's where I got the idea from. Although it mainly focuses just on the locomotives with details of each one, again it gives you ideas. If you're wanting to model in the late 60s, well, there's a beautiful view of Leamington Spa. In the 70s, well, there's Norwich, for instance. In the 80s, how about this one at Frome and Inverness? And if you're wanting to go into the sectorisation era, well, the book's timed for that as well. I've got quite a lot of other publications. Actually, one of those books, there was one called British Rail in Colour. I haven't got that one, but I've got British Rail in Colour 2. And there were other ones that were getting made as well. I'll just show you them. That's only a small selection of what was getting made. Now, that's in terms of books and DVDs, but there's a hell of a lot of stuff you can get on the internet, and that's where we're going to focus on next. Now we're going to move on to my laptop here and look at the internet, because this does actually provide you with some information as well, for as long as the battery lasts on the laptop. YouTube is where I get some of my ideas from. Now you'll have to obviously excuse the fact I'm using my right hand to hold the camera, but we've got some ideas here for where I get ideas from here on YouTube. Now my layout's a terminal layout, but it wasn't this video that actually gave the idea for making it a terminal layout. It was actually another video done by, I believe, Avoset 89, and it was filmed in 1980, and I'll get it up in a couple of minutes anyway for you. But this one's set in the right region, the Scottish region of British Rail, and it's at Glasgow Queen Street, and it's one of quite a few videos by a gentleman called Soy Bukhao, and it's all been caught on a video camera from back in the day, so the picture quality isn't always okay. I'll just sort out the settings there. Just improve the picture quality on that video for you. Now this video actually features some DMUs as well, so just move it on a bit. And we've got here 47467 coming in. There's to couple on to a train that's been brought in empty stock, which will then take away to, I believe, Aberdeen or Inverness. So that gives you ideas there. I can see various things in the track area as well. Good close up there for anybody who's actually wanting to specifically model a locomotive, the detailed shot there. And I'll just move it forward for a minute. And we can actually see here as well, coming in a push-pull train with the DBSO at the front and the locomotive at the back. Obviously on Clydebridge, the layout, the formations will be 3 coaches long because of the space restrictions. but the same sort of idea. So that's one layout, one set of videos. And I can search again. I've got Trains Euston, Avocet 1989. This is a footage that he shot in various locations, mainly Grantham and the Yorkshire, Lincolnshire parts of the East Coast Main Line, but he's visited elsewhere too, and he's shot right up to the present day. And you can see here again, this is Euston. This is actually the video that gave me the idea of a terminal layout. Check out his YouTube channels, by the way. Don't just take what you're seeing here to be enough. Just check them all out, because he actually covers to the present day as well. I mean, there you go, the Class 83 coming in, as you look, the Class 83 coming in on view there. So that's where I get some of my ideas from. And important about YouTube, I've mentioned to you some of the layouts that I plug on YouTube in my videos. Dean Park Station, Strathpeffer Junction, New Junction, Everard Junction, Newcastle Central. They're all on here as well, so you can actually get ideas from them too. Now, we'll go away from YouTube. Forums are a good place to get help, and I'm on this forum here, brblue.co.uk, and as modelling topics and non-modelling topics as well. I mean, actually, just to give my own layout a quick plug here, but there's also questions about general model railway discussion as well. I've actually started a thread on there about motor rail, because as you know, I'm going to be putting motor rail on my layout. But there we go, so there's my layout there, but there's all sorts of other ones here too. Now, my favourite class of locomotive is the Class 47, and this this website here is an excellent website. It has details on every single one of the 512 Class 47s that were actually built. This one is funded by voluntary donations, no advertising or membership subscription scheme. And the server is rented on a biannual basis, so he's always looking for donations to it. As I say, photographs, the date and the liveries that it carried, where it was allocated to for every single Class 47. What we'll do is we'll just click on numbers, and there's the various subclasses will come up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on 47.4. I'm going to choose a loco that I know quite well that's not on the layout. And we'll choose 47539 Rochdale Pioneers. Now, it was built in 1962, entered traffic 1964, and it was scrapped in 2002. And it carried the name Rochdale Pioneers, named at Rochdale Station by Dennis Landau, Chief Executive of the Co-op Wholesale Society, 4th of November 1982. Got the history of the locomotive, where it was based during its life, and just scroll down. It also tells you the liveries that the locomotive actually carried. And if I could just get the arrow down to that secondary bar, it's carried the RES livery, which is the parcel sector livery, as well as the large logo livery. So it gives you all those details on that website, and it has photographs of them all as well. Their photo gallery, I'll click on that and it comes up with photos for 47539. And we'll see this one, and that's at Cardiff Canton Depot. Great website. www.c37lg.co.uk if you like your Class 37s. Whole website, and a sister website, class37info.co.uk, devoted to the Class 37s if you like those machines. Lots of information on that. Now, there used to be a society called the Regional Railway Society. It was started up a couple of years ago, but it seems to have gone dormant now. I Facebooked the person who I thought was responsible for it, and he's never replied. The website's gone down. The Twitter feed has not been updated for some time, and it's not responding to Facebook messages. But there was one going for the Network South East Railway Society, and it has a sister website, networksoutheast.net, and it's all about trying to keep alive the memory of Network South East, and its honorary president is Chris Green, regarded by some, myself included, as the best chairman British Rail never had. He ran Network South East, and you can see the impact that he had. I mean, you can see up with ScotRail in the late 80s and mid 80s as well, before he moved down to Network South East and completely revived the fortunes of that London South East sector of British Rail. This website here and its sister website has photographs of rolling stock, leaflets. There's books that are available about Network South East. This is not really the place where I'm going to discuss them, but once this web page comes up, it has a section here, Network South East lives on, I found the station clock and all that, and there's various parts of Network South East that still survive. Network South East Artefacts group. Now, photographs, website called Flickr, or you can just do a search on Google Images or your own internet search engine to get ideas for photographs, and you could put in various keywords to try and see if there's any images with regards to what you're after. Now, I've set it up with ScotRail DBSO. It gives me ideas where I can get things from. By the way, I mentioned about Network South East. There will be a Network South East coach on my layout eventually, and people might think, well, it's a bit strange being in the Scottish region, but I have seen photographic evidence in the past of Network South East coaches on internal ScotRail trains. And in 1987, 47573, the London Standard, actually made it to Inverness once. So it did happen. So we've got in here ScotRail DBSO, and I'll just use the arrow key to go down. Oops, too far. There we go. And you can see there's various ones there. For instance, that's actually on the Tay Bridge, I'm pretty sure about that. It shows you also in the blue and grey livery that they used to carry. And you can see the detailed differences there. Now, the website's just stopped working for a moment, so until it starts reviving again, I'll just point out to you various things about the DBSO. Got the cow catchers on there and the lighting fitment. And the idea of that is it's not just the actual coaches I'm looking at here. It was just an easier thing to key in there. It was ScotRail DBSO. I'm looking at the bigger picture of things. The things around the track too. Signs, signals, etc. So you're looking at that too. For instance, that one there is actually on the northbound track at Dundee, passing Camperdown Gasworks. When you actually look at this, as I say, I'm looking at all the bigger picture as well, just to get an indication of what's there, what's happening, what's all around it. And it gives me all sorts of different ideas. I mean, we'll just click on this one because I've no idea what it's all about. But again, I'm looking at all the various things on here just so it can give me ideas for my own station as well. And indeed, this is actually for an open day at Haymarket. A gentleman called Kenneth Baird took this photo in 1985. ScotRail Festival, Haymarket, Edinburgh, 1985. So that's some of the websites that I'm going to use to get ideas from. There are other websites out there, and the thing about the internet is you're not limited. You've got unlimited choice out there. I mean, you can key in there ScotRail DBSO and lots of pictures come up there on Flickr. If you did using your internet search engine, you might get even more photographs. So, as I say, you're unlimited in sources as long as your keyword does match up with what what's out there. So I hope that's given you a pointers on where I get information from and where you can get inspiration from as well. The next update will be the August update, and that'll actually also have news on a couple of new arrivals on the layout as well. So I look forward to your company for that. In the meantime, enjoy your trains and we'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.